As the icy wind bites at your cheeks and the sleigh hurtles through the frigid night sky, you find yourselves aboard the legendary gnomish war sleigh, a marvel of enchanting engineering. The metallic hum of the warp speed enchantment surrounds you as you traverse the vast oceans of Ostera, leaving the shimmering lights of the North Pole Island behind. Your mission is no ordinary one. Kringle, the venerable master of Yuletide cheer, awoke this past frosty morning to a chilling realization. His cherished naughty and nice list, the very heartbeat of his festive operation, has been stolen. And the culprit? None other than King Frost, a malevolent wizard whose heart is as cold as the Arctic winds themselves. In any other year, this would have been the eve of the grand gladiatorial games where mythical creatures battled for the amusement of the North Pole denizens against the fateful gnomish few. But not this time. Kringle, with a furrowed brow and a heavy heart, recognized that his stolen list is more than just parchment and ink. It is the key to joy and wonder that fills the hearts of those deserving and the lump of coal that warns the mischievous. Realizing the dire nature of the situation, Kringle called upon the top gnomish special forces, the Yule Team Six, an elite squad of pint-sized operatives skilled in stealth, magic, and most importantly, the art of festive subterfuge. They were to embark on a daring mission to infiltrate King Frost's lair, the ominous Frostbite Citadel, and retrieve the stolen list before the enchanting clock strikes midnight. And so, Yule Team 6, you find yourselves hurtling across the starlit sky, the gnomish war sleigh weaving through the constellations and leaving trails of holiday magic in its wake. The air tingles with anticipation as you wonder about the challenges that await you within the frosty halls of the Frostbite Citadel. Will you recover the naughty and nice list in time to save Christmas? Or will King Frost's icy grip plunge the world into a winter devoid of warmth and merriment? Only the carefully crafted plans of Yule Team 6 can guide you through this perilous journey. So brace yourselves, for the frosty heist of the century is about to unfold, and the fate of the holiday seasons and children's hearts everywhere rests in your hands. So let's introduce ourselves, the audience. Let's introduce you, the audience, to our players, those who will be a part of the magical gnomish special operatives team, Yule Team 6. So let's start in my upper left on the Zoom we are in. Neal, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself and the character that you'll be playing today.
Perfect. Listener, if you've listened to this podcast at all, you know who I am. I'm really going to leave it there because my name is very complex. It'll be fine. So I am an auto gnome named H4V4. And for those who can use a little leet, that would be HAVA, because I am named after none other than Havarti, the cheese.
Lovely.
Which is a wonderful, smooth cheese with rich in taste.
But in an auto gnome sort of spelling.
Yes, exactly. And so I have chosen auto gnome artificer, and there's a lot that I can do to the point where I am destined to forget many things that I could have done. And when we are done with this session, I will think, wow, wouldn't it have been great had I chosen to do those things in those moments, as we all feel, I am sure.
Yes, as tends to happen in one-shots through and through. So let's go to my bottom left. Matthew, why don't you take a second to introduce yourself?
Yes, hello, listeners. It's me, Matt Keel, from Detentions and Dragons, a podcast that no longer is actually publishing new podcasts, but you can still go on iTunes and download us and learn about teaching and running Dungeons and Dragons with new players and students and kids and things like that. So today I will be playing a gnomish druid who goes by the name of Camembert, but you could call him Bert for short because he's not very pretentious. My backstory is that my heart was too small, but Santa convinced me about the spirit of the holidays, and my heart did grow 3 sizes a little larger that day. So I've been pro Santa for a long, long time now. My flaw is I do tend to sometimes solve problems with violence because I do like to transform into a bear, as I am like the moon druid.
Perfect. Hence why you are on Yule Team 6.
This is correct.
There you go. There you go. All right. And then down in my bottom right, Jeremy, why don't you take a second to introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. Matt, I thought you were going to say that your flaw is that you now have an enlarged heart.
Yeah, I gotta take a lot of medicines for that.
Yeah, it's not good.
You're running out of time.
Yeah, he has to stop every so often just to protect his heart. Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
It's good for like 15-second stints. That's about it.
Again, we forget to use those skills in battle. We don't know what jokes we should use when we're in the moment.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jeremy Cobb. My pronouns are he, him. You may know me from having appeared on DM Block from time to time, both as a guest host and as an interviewee. But you also may know me from the show Three Black Halflings, a TTRPG / nerd podcast where we talk about inclusivity and diversity in tabletop role-playing games and nerddom in general. We also do AP stuff, all sorts of different things. You can find me at Jeremy Cobb1, this Cobb with 2 B's, the number 1, on Twitter. And I am playing Colby. He is a deep gnome, arcane trickster rogue who is currently, I think, leafing through as many. He's like wearing goggles and like a little. He's wearing an elf hat, like a classic elf hat, brightly colored, but like strapped around his chin like a flight helmet. Nice. And I think the inside of it is reinforced slightly. And it's got like the old-timey like flight helmet ears coming down over his ears. And he is wearing goggles and currently looking through all of the literature that we have on King Frost's abode so that we can get as much intel as possible.
Nice. Perfect.
Also, dear listeners, if it hasn't been said before, and it has, I know it has, I was the one that said it, we're still trying to make it happen. We're trying to make fetch happen, where if you are a Three Black Halflings listener and a Dungeon Master's block, you are affectionately referred to as blocklings from henceforth.
Shout out blocklings. Shout out to the blocklings and say hi. Say hi in the whatever comments you have access to.
At your family party, wherever. I'm a blockling.
Just shout it out in the supermarket.
If I a fantastic disruption tool for that conversation you don't want to be happening at the holiday party, just shout, I'm a blockling, and I'm sure the conversation will change.
Hi, do you want to hear about my extremely niche D&D podcast? Why is everybody leaving the party so quickly? Guys, let me just tell you, Thaco had some good ideas. Again, it's reverse numbers. It doesn't really make any sense. It kind of contradicts your natural inclining towards, like, how things should go, but there's a lot of good ideas.
Launch into an impassioned defense of 4th edition and how it's technically the most balanced version of the game from a mechanical standpoint.
All right, perfect. So now we know Yule Team 6, you are hurtling through the skies on your gnomish war sled. And so as the gnomish war sled glides through the frozen night, you feel the subtle change in the air. The warp speed enchantment begins to slow, and the metallic hum diminishes coming from the sled, allowing for an eerie silence of the Arctic night to fill your ears. Ahead on the horizon, an outline of a massive structure and island you can see in front of you floating through the sky. It begins to materialize through the swirling of snowflakes that have begun to pick up. The Frostbite Citadel stands tall and foreboding against the winter sky. Its icy spires pierce the heavens, and the entire fortress seems to emanate an otherworldly chill. The moonlight reflects off of its crystalline surfaces, creating a dazzling display of dancing lights that glint like stars trapped in an icy embrace. As you approach, the details become clearer. The Citadel is a masterpiece of frozen architecture with intricate patterns etched into the ice like ancient runes. Massive gates adorned with frost-covered gargoyles stand closed, guarding the secrets within. Frozen battlements line the outer walls, giving the fortress an almost impenetrable appearance. The wind howls around the citadel, carrying with it the haunting melody that seems to echo through the frozen spires. As you draw closer, the gnomish war sled descends gracefully toward a designated landing area, a snow-covered plateau just outside the imposing gates. And so the sleigh touches down softly, leaving a trail of magical sparkles in its wake. And before you stretches the entrance to the Frostbite Citadel, its gates looming above you like the gates of a winter realm. Yule Team 6, you have arrived at your destination. What plans would you like to try to enact to get the naughty or niceless back from the interiors, the depths of the Frostbite Citadel?
Okay. Okay. This is going to maybe be my character voice. That's right. It's me. Question. I'm not too smart like you guys are. You being a little robot gnome and you being like a cool mastermind. But I was maybe wondering, like, could we just like go in there and kill him, or is that maybe a bad plan?
I don't think this is quite that kind of operation.
Oh, it's not that
Just
kind of
looking at the
operation.
three-
Okay.
I'm looking at the three of us, and I'm looking at an entire fortress. And unless that fortress houses a single guy, and that one guy is in fact not King Frost, but is instead some sort of reindeer or otherwise easily killed opponent, I don't think that would be a good plan.
We can't just kill the Frost King. Like, is his power level too high or something?
Do I have any access to literature on the Frost King?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you would have one. You would have heard as a gnomish child the sorts of like the almost fairy tales about the Frost King of like he is like the exact opposite of Santa. Like Santa gives out coal to like the children who are naughty, but like King Frost he's just basically pure evil. Like he's the one that's like causing children to be naughty, like whispering in their ears, like in the middle of the wind. Like that's sort of the imagery that you have of King Frost, like this sort of like ethereal creature that just kind of floats through the air, causing all sorts of mischief and mayhem in the lives of children. You have heard the stories as you've gotten older, as also a Yule Team 6 member, about the Frostbite Citadel. It's filled with all sorts of traps, from what you understand, creatures of all sorts of icy origins. And what you have learned is that the Frost King is a icy, ethereal specter sort of creature that resides within its confines somewhere. You've heard rumors of a treasury or a hoard or like a vault kind of in the caverns below the Frostbite Citadel, but whether you don't exactly know if there are entrances outside or secret passageways or anything like that, or if you have to kind of go into the Citadel to find them to begin with.
Then I think I would look at Bert and say, Bert, you've heard the legends, haven't you?
No, yeah. He's a specter. He like wanders the world, telling kids to do bad things, like buy NFTs and stuff like that. So
ruin their lives, invest in Bitcoin.
Yeah. Does that sound like the kind of diabolical evil that we could overcome?
Well, I got an inflated sense of ego, so yes. But you know what? I do think that we got to really get that naughty list, that naughty and nice list for Santa, and because I love Santa, and I guess Santa did ask us not to murder his enemy, but like to get the list. So you're right. I gotta stay on task. You're right. We gotta use, I guess, stealth.
Yeah. I respect your self-awareness.
But I will turn into a bear if I need to.
Absolutely fair.
Okay, great.
It is a low threshold. How tall are the walls?
They're probably about 15 to 20 feet tall on the outside of them.
So you can tell that, I don't know what a shorter, H4. We'll just call him H4.
There you go.
And he's doing calculations on his arm, going back and forth. He's all, I can get us over the wall. That's fine. I can do it.
You mean you could just like throw us over the wall?
No. I have a rope.
Okay.
Oh, you have a rope. Oh, yeah, I thought you had a mechanical man. I thought you had springs or something.
Yeah.
No, but you'll be surprised. It's a really cool rope. I have one though.
Before we go over the wall, there's one thing I need to take care of very quickly. I have like a little gift bag that Santa gave me, and I reach in, take some dust, and sprinkle it over myself, and I will use my Sverfneblin magic to cast non-detection on myself, which means that I cannot be targeted by any divination magic whatsoever,
nice.
or perceived through magical scrying sensors. So I, at least, will be completely undetectable by any scry sensor, anything like that that's up. I'll look at the group and say, okay, I think going over the wall is a great idea. Do we want to maybe scout at the top of the wall just to see, so we're not jumping over and it turns out that the King Frost has 50 dogs just standing right there ready to attack us?
Yeah, I think that seems like a good idea.
Perfect. So we'll move over to the wall. I don't know. I'm just trying to come up with a dumb activating word for my item. I'd say Havarti, and then a rope comes out of my pack on its own and basically slithers up the side of the wall and ties itself to the top.
Oh my gosh!
How tall is the wall?
It's like 20 feet tall or so.
Dill pickles. And then you see knots form at 1 foot intervals because as part of my artificer, I chose the rope of climbing.
Nice.
So now we would have advantage checks on climbing, and then I can activate and take it back with us in case we need it.
Perfect. All right, so you are trying to get to the top of the wall. Who's going first?
I'll go first.
Nice.
Since I can turn into a bear. Do I need to make a climb check?
Yes, you do. Make like a athletics check for me.
On that one.
Nice.
You do have advantage.
Oh yes, you do have advantage. Yes.
Because of the rope.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, thank you. This is athletics check of 12.
Nice. Yeah, with the rope, with the knots, you feel the icy wall is very slippery. And so it does take you a little bit, about halfway up the wall, you finally start to like get your bearings about how to climb up the wall, but you do make it up to the top of the wall. So you are the first one up to the top. Do you want to do anything when you're up at the top?
Yeah, I want to make a perception check to look for these 50 dogs.
Okay, cool.
21.
You look out at the courtyard and you see that kind of patrolling the courtyard, there aren't icy dogs, but what appear to be these floating ice wraith-ish type creatures. Almost, not wraiths, but like ice, losing the word for it, but like dragon, sort of like the icy nagas, I think is what they're called, like the snake things that kind of float through the air. They're kind of patrolling back and forth, and you see a good like 4 of them that have, you don't quite know the pattern yet, but you can see them on the inside of the courtyard here. And it's probably about another 50 feet across the courtyard before you would get to like the entrance of the Frostbite Citadel from where you are.
Okay, I'm going to try to gesture with my hands. I'm going to make 4, and then like I'm going to make like a dragon looking, like scary mouth thing.
I would like to then cast message and say, "What?" And you can just answer back and no one can hear you except me.
Sure. There's 4 icy naga type things up here in the courtyard.
I'll relay that also to H4.
No, I thought he was dancing. Okay. He's all 4/4 beat. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
DM, is there any way that we could like ascertain the capabilities of these creatures? Like how, because obviously they're probably scary and dangerous, but like, are we talking like, basically, is it like, can any of us recall any information about how good they are at sensing things, what might be a weakness, etc., anything like that?
Yeah, you could try and roll either like a history check if you've heard stories about these things, arcana check, like a nature check if you want to try and learn maybe a little bit about these creatures. We'll just assume that like you both make your way up to the top as well. Not going to make you guys roll to get up to the top. But yeah, once you guys are up there, you're kind of like peering through over the top of the wall, kind of trying to keep your distance and stay hidden. But whoever wants to roll, like if you want to roll a nature check or like a history check or whatever you want to try and convince me is deemed worthy of trying to discern information about these creatures.
I would like to give the help action, if possible, to like look through the literature that we've been given to try and support somebody else on a check and give them advantage if possible.
Yeah, I can do Arcana or History. Those are my gym jams. And then Colby, you want to go up? I'll bring the back end of the rope up with me.
Yeah, no problem. Just ride the rope up.
Yeah. Also, that's in hindsight, we could totally have done that. I don't even think you really needed to make a climb check, but you were just highly motivated. But it can carry 3,000 pounds, and I can just have it move. I can just have it move. So in hindsight, like you just climbed up, and then Colby and I just like had it pull us up, and we're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I just kind of look at you. I'm like, I just shrug. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah.
So then I went with Arcana, and then I got a 22, thanks to the help action.
You recognize that these are creatures made entirely out of ice. They look very similar. Like there's no flesh on the outside of them. They just have like their skeletal structure that just kind of slithers through the air. They're not on the ground. They're just like maybe 3 feet off of the ground or so, slithering. You can see that their eyes are lit up like a light icy blue color. And they seem, as you're looking at them, they seem to be peering really intently in whatever direction they're looking in, as if they might be trying to see things that might not be there.
They're gonna see two of us.
Do you tell us what you realize, what you ascertain?
Yeah, so actually I was thinking, like, I have like a little display on my arm, and it's almost like a Pokedex entry that I kind of show you, and then
Ice Naga, the ice creature, the ice snake.
Shh, 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 shh. And I'm trying to turn it down. No. Yeah, so I relay that, like, if there's a different way we could go, we should, because I feel like if they see us, they'll attack me and Bert and not Colby. And I'm worried about that.
Well, I mean, they can still see him, right? Like, divination is not like, my eyes don't divinate the world around me. Like, the eyes just see things. I think they could still see him.
That's true. They would still be able to see me, unfortunately. But I have an idea. I have an idea. I don't know how smart these things are, but we might be able to trick them. What if we set up an illusion or something to attract them to a spot, and then hide fire underneath them so that they get melted, like a bonfire that we create underneath them while they're trying to see something, and we just melt them.
Yes. Violence. I love it. Just like Santa prescribed.
I mean, Santa last year's one shot was Santa creating a gladiatorial arena. So, just for all the gnomes to blow off steam the day after Christmas.
Yeah, then we played as reindeer.
You were reindeer. Yeah, you were some of the bad reindeer. That's right.
Okay, well, I have an idea then.
Okay.
So I didn't think to describe it, and it seems really weird until this moment. It didn't seem weird up until this moment, but I kind of opened my chest, and I pull out a little figure.
Come on.
Yeah. It's like Bender. It's fine. It's
like Bender.
So in my hand, I have a tiny construct. Because also as my infusion, I chose a homunculus servant.
Okay.
I just created you know what? I created a smaller version of myself.
Myself.
It is like it is identical to my appearance, and and I call him Lil Buddy.
Did you just give birth?
Oh, I guess in some way I did.
Congratulations.
I don't know how to say no to that. I think I did.
I'm so happy for you.
To be born on Christmas Eve, the greatest present.
Yes. I call him Little Buddy.
Oh, Little Buddy.
Yes.
Little Buddy is blessed. Blessed by Kringle himself.
Oh, Little Buddy's very blessed. Watch this. And then wherever you pointed for him to go, he goes. And then as a distraction, I will cast Magic Missile out from him. And I think it will draw their attention.
What are you casting Magic Missile at? You're just like shooting it
darkness. No, I'm casting
the air.
Thank you for the setup. I knocked it right down. Well, I was going to cast it at those things, because aren't we trying to draw it to like a specific spot?
I don't know what your plan is. I heard you were going to cast an illusion and then could do a bonfire, and then you threw your Little Buddy down and shot Magic Missile. So I have no idea what you guys are doing.
Basically, what Colby's trying to suggest is trick them into like being very fascinated and interested in something, so they don't necessarily realize they're being cooked, and like cast a spell underneath them, which I can help disguise. I can help disguise that.
Okay, so the throwing Little Buddy down there is step one of the of the plan. Okay, cool, got it. Yeah, I mean, Neal, you throw Little Buddy, you point, I mean, I'm assuming in a direction away from where you guys are for him to go. You're casting Magic Missile at one of these things?
Well, I mean, do we want to cast Magic Missile immediately? Because I feel like we still need this bonfire and this minor illusion. I feel like the Magic Missile should be part 2 of this holiday surprise.
Yeah. Maybe just have him make a lot of noise.
Yeah.
Okay. He hops down and starts banging on his chest and belly flopping in the ground, doing whatever it is that little buddy does to draw a whole bunch of attention. And you see, he's a 2-year-old, right? He's just throwing all sorts of tantrums. He's brand new. He's figuring out the world. And you just see and hear this just like hissing sound through the air as all of these like ice nagas turn, and you just see them slither through the air over towards this thing. They're not quite there yet, but what do you guys want to do while you see little buddy has now drawn the attention of these ice nagas their way?
Jeremy, do you want to cast some type of minor illusion, and then I'll cast a bonfire within it?
I would love to do that, but I do not have the spell Minor Illusion. I do have Prestidigitation, which I can use to, let me see, an instantaneous harmless sensory effect, clean or soil something, non-magical, an illusory image that can fit in my hand, so that's not going to be large enough. Does anyone have Minor Illusion?
I think I have Minor Illusion.
It's not concentration, right?
It lasts 1 minute.
Yeah, it's not concentration, is it? It's just a spell. So you could theoretically cast Minor Illusion and then cast Create Bonfire inside of that, right?
You know what? Will the DM allow it?
Sure. It's a one-shot. Let's have fun with it. Let's go for it.
So I am going to create a minor illusion of a small Christmas present, and then within it, I am going to also use the cantrip Bonfire.
Nice.
And what I would like to do is sneak up to within 10 feet of these things so that I can prestidigitate coldness onto them. So they do not feel themselves being melted. They feel as though everything is still cold, but they're actually being melted by the bonfire.
Perfect. Okay, so the present is getting... How are you getting the present down there?
Magic.
I think you can just cast it there.
You can cast it there. Okay.
I can just cast a minor illusion there.
Got it. So. Okay, so you're casting Minor Illusion down there, and then who's casting the bonfire inside of the...
I'm also casting the bonfire.
Oh, you're doing both of those things. Okay, cool.
Yes.
Got it. Okay, so you're casting that down there. Is this right next to Little Buddy? Like, is this where...
It's right. Yeah. It's right next to Little Buddy, but not burning Little Buddy, because I do respect him.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, so they kind of come around... Colby, you kind of like hop down into the snow on the other side of the wall, and it's about like 2 feet deep in there. So it's getting up there for you as a small gnome. Like you're just kind of like maybe peeking.
It's just how I like it.
Yeah, exactly. Just trudging
just like
through.
Jaws.
Yeah,
like just with my little hat peering above.
Yeah, exactly. Jaws music starts playing. Colby. Sweet. So yeah, you get within 10 feet of these things. They are just about to... I mean, they seem to have no mercy. They are launching into Little Buddy, and all of a sudden this present like appears right next to Little Buddy, and then explodes into a roaring bonfire next to them. Colby, you at the same time are casting coldness. Prestidigitation on them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Keep them cold.
So...
Or make them feel cold anyway.
Does Bonfire have a stat for how much damage it does? I don't think it does.
Yes, it does. Bonfire does.
Does it? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think it's... Let me double check.
Yeah, it'd be 2d8.
When you reach fifth level, it's 2d8.
Okay, cool. Roll the damage for me.
5 and 1, 6.
So yeah, you see this bonfire, and they like notice it, but they're like not phased by it, but you can clearly see that these things are starting to melt, although they do not know it yet at this point. H4, what do you want to do for Little Buddy? Because the bonfire has happened, but Little Buddy is still there, and you see that the Ice Nagas are about to strike at H4. You just cool with like sacrificing your child you just gave birth to on Christmas Eve?
Absolutely not. This feels like a really stupid idea, so let's go. Little Buddy goes, no! And then claps his hands together and shoots Thunderwave out. He got real scared and then shot Thunderwave out at them.
All right. I need to make a dexterity saving throw for these things, I'm assuming?
No, Constitution 15.
Constitution 15, okay. 4 of them. First one makes it. Second one does not. Third one does not. And fourth one does make it. Okay. So 2 of them made it, 2 of them did not. So let me know what happens.
So they'll take 9 damage, and the ones that failed go backwards 10 feet.
Got it. Okay. 2 of them, yeah, you just see just go flying backwards. They aren't dead, but there are like parts of their like rib cages that come flying off as they go flying backwards. The other ones have parts of their skull and their rib cages coming off and still melting all at the same time. They are not looking great, but they are not dead yet. So I'll have you guys, if you wouldn't mind, rolling for initiative for me at this point. And the Ice Nagas will immediately be at the front because you guys kind of already had a little bit of a round here. But just give me your rolls when you get them.
That's a natural 20 for me for 23.
Sweet.
Nice. I am close behind at 20.
22.
Nice.
Oh, goodness. Yule Team 6.
But they all get to go first, so we wasted our high rolls.
Yeah.
No. They might have been able to go twice for all we know.
You know what? Fair.
So the 2 that are right next to H4 are going to try and bite into...
You mean Little Buddy?
Sorry, yes, Little Buddy. What's Little Buddy's AC?
That's a mere 13.
One of them will hit him. The other one misses dreadfully, doing 6 points of piercing damage and 2 points of cold damage to him. The other 2 very quickly look at the they start to slither back, look at the bonfire, and then they start scanning around the courtyard looking for where this came from. And
can they see the bonfire? Isn't it inside of the illusion?
It's inside of the illusion.
It's in a box.
Got it.
So it's just a hot box.
So they are hot boxing down there. No, so what they do then, thank you. What they do is they look back at the box and then they start looking up around. And Colby,
should I roll a stealth?
Yes, roll a stealth for me. They are going to roll some perception checks to see if they see anyone.
All right. Let me see. I don't think this is uses any action economy. I would like to use my Sverfnevlin camouflage to give myself advantage on this check.
Yeah.
Just blend into the snow.
You just
my natural
you just
looking like a
duck
rock.
Yeah.
Okay, that is a dirty 20.
Okay. One of them continues to look all over the place, and one of them kind of sees you duck down, and you see at the last second it locks eyes on you and starts coming your way. So by the time it gets to you at the start of its next turn, it'll be able to get towards you, but it's heading in your direction. Okay, after that we have Colby. You are up.
Hey, can I interrupt for 1 second?
Yes.
Did the Nagas that are around the bonfire, did they move?
They're right up next to H4 or Little Buddy at this point. So
okay. So they're not in the bonfire still taking damage?
No. No, they moved a little ways away to
Rats.
get to. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they are vulnerable to fire, so that was a great idea. So it's great. So okay, Colby, you are up.
Okay, then what I would like to do is, however far this guy is, I would like to take out my flask of oil and throw some of it on him.
Sure.
And then very quickly light a match for my candle, and then rather than using it to light my candle, I will sing. I'll go Silent Night as I just light the candle, and then graciously just pass it to the Naga so that it catches fire. But I would like to set the Naga on fire.
Absolutely, go for it. Yes, roll some damage for me.
Okay. What would you want that to be?
I don't
actually know.
Do it like an alchemic or an alchemist fire vial, which I think is a D6 or a D8 or something like that. Let's just go with a D8. That's fine. Let's just go with that.
Okay. That is 6 points of fire damage, which I guess might be doubled.
Just lights him on fire, and you see a large amount of him just melts down, but he is barely hanging on, coming towards you. He is a frail icicle of what he once was, in a spring frost. Or a spring thaw, rather. Yes.
I assume that's my action then, right?
Yes, that would be your action. Yep. To use
okay.
Yep.
As my bonus action, Well, I would like to duck just into the snow and start trying to swim away through the snow and roll a stealth check to get out of, so I'm out of view and I'm able to hopefully get away.
Absolutely, go for it.
Stealth check. Here we go. Yes, that is a 25.
Got it. Perfect. Sounds good. I'll keep that in mind for their next turn. All right, Bert, you are up.
Okay.
Is it bear time?
The rage fills inside of me. When I was looking at my character sheet, I have a few things. I have my heart grew 3 sizes. My name is pretentious, but I am not. And I bite the hand that steals from the children. So I look at little tiny, small Havarti, and I just there's this flashback to on the war sleigh, and I'm like, could I kill them all? Could I kill them all? And Colby saying you gotta use a little stealth, and then it just all turns my vision turns red. I wild shape into, unfortunately, I can't do a polar bear yet, because that's a second challenge rating. So I'm just going grizzly bear on this one. So I do transform while as a bonus action into a grizzly bear, and I am going to charge, well, not officially charge, I'm going to move to the closest one, and I want to start doing some attacks.
Yeah, the closest one would be the one that's by Colby at this point now.
But thankfully, you had, in your earlier years as a gnome, you had witnessed a albino grizzly bear. So it's all white, and so it's okay.
Okay, so I'm an albino grizzly bear.
They look really cool. I assumed, because it's a recessive gene, and so then I looked it up, and albino grizzly bears look really cool, and so now that's of course what you look like.
Okay, I'm doing albino grizzly bear. So I'm going to go to the closest one, and I have a multi-attack. So
yeah, it's a super cool transformation, jumping off of the wall into albino bear, charging towards Ice Naga.
Yeah, so I'll do my bite attack first. Oh, +9 to hit? Heck yeah.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Wait, yeah, 15?
15 hits.
Let me do a D8 +5. 6 points of damage.
Okay. You jump down. You see this Ice Naga start on fire. Colby, almost just barely gets out of the way. Colby, you're looking up as you're starting to stealth, and you just see this massive bear just lunge over where you are, and you hear the shattering of the Ice Naga in front of you, and you kind of poke your head back up, and there's just this massive albino grizzly bear that you've seen a couple times before being on Yule Team 6. But the Ice Naga that was in front of you is no longer an Ice Naga. It is now just melted water in Bert's mouth.
All right, can I use a claw attack on an adjacent one?
There's 2 of them by H4, and then there's another one that is a little bit further away. You might have to move slightly in order to get there.
Okay, can I still move there?
Yeah, that's fine. You
can
move up to it.
Go. So I'll move, and then I'll make a claw attack against the other one.
Yeah, the other Nagas are kind of 15 feet off to your left now, and this one is kind of coming this way as well. But
okay, and that would be a 17.
Sweet, 17 hits.
This is 13.
Colby, you're kind of watching all of this from a distance. You just see the albino grizzly just running towards this other one, claw through, and you just see pieces of Ice Naga just kind of spray off into the distance. And Bert, you kind of turn and set your gaze on the next set of Ice Nagas over by little buddy over there. Sweet. Anything else you want to do on your turn?
That'll be it.
Sweet. H4, what are you doing? You're still up on the wall. You're observing all of this. You watch the sick transformation into albino bear down there.
So how far away am I from the other 2 that are by little buddy?
You're probably 40 feet away from them at this point.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I figured it would. Yeah. So that's within range. So then the camera pans over, and you can kind of see my back's up against the top of the wall, and I've got a finger gun, and I'm holding it, and it looks like your kid classically playing he's a spy.
Yeah.
And then I pop over the top, and a ball of lightning fires out of the tip of my finger. And because I chose the infiltrator armor, lightning launcher.
Nice.
So I'm going to do that. I'm going to shoot once, and I got a 18 to hit.
18 hits.
6 damage on the first one.
Okay.
Because we're level 5, I gotta go again. 21 to hit.
21 hits. And this one's looking real bad. You can see the electricity kind of course through its body, and it kind of becomes this mesh of light blue ice and yellow electric. Kind of makes a cool like dancing effect inside of
nice.
The Naga. It's kind of cool.
So it does that. Second hit did 8 damage as the second ball of lightning fires out.
But the second ball of lightning comes and it just is too much. You see it start to reverberate, and then just ice shards go everywhere.
Perfect. The camera pans back in, and as my bonus action, I'm going to take a third shot.
Okay, before you do that, I need Little Buddy to make a dexterity saving throw for me, though.
Sorry, it uses a weird term. It uses PB.
Oh, yeah.
Which makes you think peanut butter all the time, but like
Efficiency bonus.
Needs to make a 13. Needs to make a 13.
I just realized we're one level away from you having Flash of Genius. Brutal.
Yeah. So 13. So 13 on the die plus 2. So he got Little Buddy got a 15. And luckily, Little Buddy comes with He comes with evasion.
Nice. So he would have taken 4 points of damage. So then he will take 2 because he halved it. But then evasion, does that make it negate all of it?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Cool. So you just see this like cool like Neo effect of like Little Buddy just doing these sick automaton moves to get out of the way of the ice shards. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So he jumps behind this rock, and the camera cuts, and then it looks like me again holding that pose behind the rock, and then it leans out and fires. But it's not me when the camera pans. It's Little Buddy, and he learned from me, and so he's going to shoot his own little lightning ball. It's much weaker than mine, so it makes it very funny to me. But yeah, he pops out and does the exact same move that I did.
Sweet.
And he will get... Oh, nice. He got an 18 to hit. Oh, no, that's 18 on the die, so yeah.
Yeah, that still hits.
He will do half as much, but it's a D4 plus my proficiency. Oh, nice. 6 damage still.
Nice. Same thing to a lesser degree. It's like a little rave party in front of him with the ice naga. It doesn't quite go all the way through the ice naga's body, but as you can kind of see the electricity dissipate from inside of it, it does not look great. You can start to see fractures throughout its skeletal structure. Anything else you or Little Buddy want to do on your turn? All right, sweet. Back up to the top. As a last-ditch effort, he is going to look at Little Buddy, and his eyes are going to just emanate this frosty gaze. I need Little Buddy to make a Constitution saving throw for me.
What is his hatred for Little Buddy? I'm a bear. And he's like, no, I gotta attack this doll.
Well, you're also behind him. Like, he has not seen you yet. Yeah, he's like 15 feet away from you. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And Little Buddy just shot him with electricity, so...
I got a 13.
Fair point.
He's pulling aggro right now.
I got a 13.
13. Okay. He feels just this, and being like tied as you are as now a new father or new mother, whatever you are as an automaton, a new automaton parent. There we go. You feel this deep sense of cold radiating through Little Buddy's body, but somehow, and then as a proud parent, you're just like, you watch him shake it off, and you thought it might have been extremely dangerous for Little Buddy in the moment, but he is okay. He's deeply chilled, but he is okay for the time being. We will then go to Colby. You are up. You're about 20 feet away from this ice naga and Little Buddy and the bonfire present.
And which means that gives you sneak attack because Little Buddy's right there.
Exactly. And well, I'm also I'm pretty much not seen by this guy, right? I got a 25 on stealth.
He's not looking at you at all.
Then I would like to rise up out of the snow like Martin Sheen in Apocalypse Now. Like somehow wearing full like camo paint. But it is all red and green camo paint with some silver like highlights and accents amongst it with my short bow, and I'd like to attack.
Well, you just prestidigitation on yourself, right? That's what.
Yeah, exactly. I prestidigitated a full face of camo Christmas themed paint and rise up and take a shot at this guy. I guess with advantage, I presume.
Yes. Yep.
That's a natural 20.
Oh
my gosh,
that's excellent. So you rise up, you shoot, you have a bow, right? Shooting your arrow at him. Sweet. Describe to me what happens as you slay this creature, this ice creature, with your natural 20 bow shot.
As I'm like rising up, there's like a strong smell of cinnamon on the air as my eyes inside of the goggles widen and dilate, and I have a flashback to, there's just like, you hear like jingle bells, like the sound of sleigh bells, but like screams, cries, somebody, Mama! Somebody's like, Santa, no! Like, all of these sounds as I'm, like, flashing back to so many moments. And I'm like, just one more. And I fire.
Oh, my gosh.
I release. And it just flies forward and...
Does Yule Team 6 come with counseling for our gnome friends?
As this thing shatters, I say to myself, I love the smell of eggnog in the evening.
Nice. I need little buddy to make a dexterity saving throw for me, as well as Bert as well, since you're... Oh, no, Bert, you're not over there yet. Just little buddy.
What was the DC?
13.
Yep, 14. So since
Same thing happens.
Since he saves, and it means I take no damage, little buddy, as all of the ice rains down and glitters, he's just out in the middle of it, just dancing through it, because he's having a great time. He is completely unawares of the situation and the dire straits that he has found himself in. He just thinks this is a great time.
Yeah, exactly. This is called rough and tumble play as parents. That builds trust in the midst of danger for little children, you know, just most parents aren't bringing their kids into battle. You know, they're like throwing them up in the air, but it's fine. Yeah, so you watch them all dissipate, and not more than 4 or 5 seconds goes by, and then you hear in the distance, you see these, like, up in the sky, you see these, like, massive wyverns just start to take off from the top of the Frostbite Citadel. You're in the midst of this courtyard. What are you guys doing at this point? I'll assume that H4 has kind of gotten down off of the walkway up on the wall, but you're in the middle of this courtyard. There's probably about 20 feet to the Frostbite Citadel, about 30 feet behind you, back to the wall.
I'm going to quickly send messages to both of them and say, we have to sneak for it! Somebody cast bonfire as a distraction! And I'm going to cast prestidigitation to make as much noise in the vicinity of, like, this bright light and try and distract them with that while we sneak towards the castle.
Okay.
I never stopped doing bonfires, so I think it just...
Oh,
the
you
plan
make it
is
bigger.
coming together.
Yeah, make it even bigger.
Then I'll create, like, sparks and fanfares and stuff around it
Nice.
and then sneak.
And little buddy's like pointing his finger, and I like calmly reach over and put his hand back down.
No.
No.
Now's not the time. Okay, so you guys are casting all of these. So now you're sneaking towards where you guys are going towards the Citadel.
Is
you're
there
going
a door?
Yeah, there's like a main front door. You see windows on the outside, but you
Can we look through the windows?
you can see if they can open if you want.
Sure. I would. I'd love to see if the windows are there, if there's anybody visible, and if we could open one. Because I don't know if going in through the front door is like, hey.
Yeah, you kind of see there's a massive, maybe 20-foot tall, double wide door. The front wall is it's about 10 feet wide, 20 feet tall. The main kind of front entrance is about 20 feet, and then you see, turning back towards the building, about another 7 or 8 feet of kind of like what would be kind of an entryway to that. Then you see another wall that has like a pretty massive window there that you kind of like run up towards. You start to inspect the window, and it looks like thinner ice than the rest of the wall, but it does not open.
Is there anybody visible? Like, do we see any people?
Roll a perception check for me.
That is an 18 plus, I think, 2. Yeah, a dirty 20.
Yeah, just very quickly glancing inside, you kind of rub the frost off of the window, and you look in there, and you don't see anyone right away. You don't see anybody, but you see kind of like a long entryway hallway. It's maybe about 30 feet wide, pillars kind of going up with these just beautiful ice arches inside, but you don't see anyone in kind of the main entryway at this point.
Oh, I was going to say, can I make a perception check to see if the front door has, like, a lock?
You can make a perception check for me.
Nat 20.
Yeah,
Hey!
you see that it, in fact, does have these two kind of circular, like you could pull open the doors with the door handles, and underneath there you see the kind of old-fashioned, what we would consider old-fashioned door locks. So there are door locks there.
Gotcha. So, question, more kind of narrative, just because I don't want to change out of bear form. Can I talk as a bear? I think that's like a level 14, like you could talk like a normal human. Do I have to revert back to a gnome to talk?
Nah, let's go with it. That'll be fun.
Okay.
Hey.
It's fun.
No, All right.
But you have to do it like one word syllables as best as possible because it's like you can't do it very well. Yeah.
Okay. Door open.
I'll look at what Bert's pointing at. I'll say I may be able to help. I'll reach into my bag, grab some more we'll say some more Christmas spice, and blow, and it'll I guess float through the window. And I'd like to summon a mage hand, which I believe I can make invisible as an arcane trickster. Mm-hmm. I will summon an invisible mage hand on the other side of the glass.
Oh, heck yeah.
Sweet.
And have it float over and just open. Yeah, just have it unlock the doors.
Yeah, you see as on the inside, it's kind of like that old wooden fold over the door. That's the lock. So you just kind of reach up, and it's pretty sticky, but you eventually do rip it up and open, and the door kind of cracks open a little bit from the outside.
Awesome.
Grab tiny baby Cavardi.
Okay, so yes. Is Mage Hand not even concentration? It just lasts for a minute once you cast it?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
It's just there.
So I kind of try and figure out where it is, and then I set little buddy on where your Mage Hand is, and then now he's just floating around in the sky so that he can follow us and not get left behind.
That's incredible. That's great. So you guys make your way to the door, and I'm assuming you're just trying to go in through the front doors now, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You just kind of pull them open. You can hear the wyverns up above kind of diving down, and you, as you're making your way in, you see that one of them veers off from the bonfire, and it's headed in your direction as well. So you kind of open the door real quickly. Who would most have likely been the last one through the door?
Oh, probably me.
Yeah, because you had to run and go grab little buddy. And
I feel like I would do something to try and relock it.
So you are getting through the door. You're about to pull it shut, and you see this wyvern's jaw kind of snap right at you through the door. So it's going to try and hit you one time. What's your AC?
16.
Okay. He got a 18. So he's going to, as you're kind of pulling the door shut, it just latches right onto your arm.
I would like to use silvery barbs.
Ooh, yeah, go for it.
And force them to re-roll that, and I believe take the lower of the two rolls.
Yep, absolutely. A 9 instead of an 18, so perfect.
I will then give advantage to Havarti, because I was afraid.
Yes.
I'm just blowing dust, spice, just
You're blowing dust. You see this wyvern come down, and it just about latches onto his arm. You can see he's about to hit, and then he pulls the door shut, kind of snapping its head into the door. You hear just this kind of painful wyvern screaming. It pulls its mouth out, and H4 can just pull the door shut. You quickly latch it behind you. And as you kind of peer through the window that's there, you can see the wyvern just kind of take off and fly back up into the sky away.
And for context, there was no one riding it?
No, there was no one riding it. It was just those two. Okay, so you are, the doors shut ominously behind you, and in front of you, you can kind of see this entryway door. But as you step in, you didn't notice this in the moment because you just have adrenaline rushing through your body. But you notice that as you get inside, the atmosphere is a bit more solemn. It's almost devoid of sound in any sort of way, and there's this kind of scent of ancient frost that hangs in the air. Walking in, you can kind of see there's rows of these massive ice pillars that are just ornately carved, cascading up into the ceiling. And in the middle, about halfway through, in a more regal kind of normal setting in the world of Austeria, this would be what would be a fountain, a magical fountain of sorts. But this just kind of sprays up and has frozen over time. And there's this sort of mist that kind of hangs above this large fountain in the middle, and kind of the only thing that you hear reverberating through the room is the echoes of the door shutting and the wind that has kind of flowed into the room following behind you. You see that fountain is about 30 feet in front of you, and on the other side of that you can see another set of doors, but at the sides of the room you're not quite sure what's there at the moment.
I'm going to revert back to a gnome because I got bored of just talking in single syllables. So, okay. Great, we're inside. Now, this naughty list, you said, Kobe, I think you said that there was a vault. Do you think that he would store it in the vault, or would he, like, store it in his bedroom or something like that?
That's the thing. We don't know. It may be in the vault. We know there are rumors that there's a vault below the whole structure. So maybe we can try and find a way down below ground into the basement, into the dungeons.
Okay. Yeah, because I guess if there's... Hold on. Can someone else besides Santa use the list for nefarious purposes?
That would be a question for the DM. What exactly... Do we have any knowledge of whether that would be the case?
You have never heard of anyone using the naughty or nice list, but it is a magical list, and so you think possibly a high enough level wizard might be able to use the naughty or nice list for nefarious reasons. But again, nobody's ever really had it except for Kringle himself.
Okay, what happens if there was a wizard like the Frost King, and the Frost King, he switched all the good names to the bad kids and all the bad kids to the good kids, and then on Christmas the kids go and then they're underneath the tree, and then there's all this coal everywhere, and then the bad kids get like knives and swords and like fire-making kids, and then they just
that's
start
what all the
doing
good
bad
kids
stuff.
get is knives.
Yeah, is that what we were making back That's what Santa's been having people make?
I thought that was for
I've
just other gnomes.
No, I've been making a lot of, like, things for Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. It's a lot of, like, survival is really popular on...
Survival swords?
Yeah, survival swords is
Where
really
are they
popular
living?
They're really popular on Jingle Jangle TikTok right now. I've seen the hashtag. I know, survival's huge, so all the good kids get this coal, and all the bad kids, they're going to get the swords, and then they switch them up. Or what happens, like, is there Krampus? Is Krampus around?
That Frost King is kind of like the Krampus.
Because what happens if, like, Frost King hires Krampus, and Krampus steals all the good kids instead of the bad kids, and then there's just, like, a big basket fill. We gotta find this naughty list.
I agree. Let's get on it. Look, what we could do if we really wanted to try and cover more ground, we could try and split up where one or more of us goes after the vault and one or more of us goes after the bedroom. That is one option, or we can all just go to one and then hope it's there.
Well, I've been told that besides my enlarged heart and coronary effects of that, the number one way of dying in Dungeons & Dragons is splitting up the party, so maybe we just go to the vault.
Works for me. I don't know what that... is that part of the... Is Dungeons & Dragons one of the things we've been making for these kids at Christmas?
It is.
It's the number one bestseller right now on Kringle's on.
Humans and households.
Yeah, humans. Nice. That's fun. Okay, so you guys are wanting to head towards the vault. You know and have heard from the rumors that it is down below the Frostbite Citadel. So tell me, as a group, how is Yule Team 6 going to try and find out how to get to the bottom of the Frostbite Citadel?
If we could find an employee that we could have, because what I was hoping originally was that we could catch someone and question them, and then I could impersonate them and we could get in. But if we could just find someone, maybe we can convince them to let us in, or they can just tell us.
I like it. Are there, like, evil gnomes that work for the Frost King? Do we know that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, let's find one of these guys, and let's convince them through traditional means or unorthodox means.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, I do have one more, what do you call it, wild shape, so we'll see what it comes to.
Oh, gosh. Okay. So you guys are in the entryway. There's nobody in here, but you see a set of doors on the opposite side, about probably 50 feet away from you. And there is the exterior walls as well that you can't really see anything from being in this kind of central, kind of open area where you're currently at. So where would you like to go?
Towards the double doors?
Sounds good.
All right. You start walking towards the middle, towards the fountain. As you get up towards the fountain, it's about 25, 30 feet away from you. You see off to the right and the left, you also see a set of doors on either side and the one kind of in front of you. Still want to go towards that front one?
Perception check.
Okay. What are you trying to perceive?
The sound of humanoid activity.
Oh, so you're like going up to the door and...
Yes.
Okay.
I only rolled a 9.
Got it. Which door are you going up towards?
The west one.
Colby and H4 and little buddy, you kind of see you're walking towards the fountain, and Bert just kind of like veers off to the left, and you kind of see him like start to put his ear up to the door, and you don't hear anything through the door.
I don't hear anything over here.
But as you say that, the door opens and just kind of knocks into you.
I would like to dive out of sight.
Okay. You're right by the fountain, so you can jump to the other side of the fountain and try and hide if you would like to.
And I will prepare to try and knock somebody out if need be.
Okay.
Or subdue them.
Hey, that hurt. What's up?
Oh, you're just like saying this to the person on the other side of the wall.
Yeah.
Okay. Running out from the other side, you see a small gnome that seems to be was holding like a tray of food that is now like covered all over the front of their clothing. Like they were going to be bringing room service or snacks or something somewhere inside, and they kind of give it like another shove and are just furious, and they have like the knife that was in their hand like pointing it at you like, who are you? What are you doing here?
Oh, you probably don't know me. That's right. I'm just a recent transfer from that other place. You know the Frost King is going to be so mad that you just spilled all his food.
And you see her kind of like flip it up and catch it, and it is very well done in terms of how she may have handled a knife before. She says, "Tell me right now who you are. I've never seen you before, and you just made me spill all of the food."
I'd like to just pop up and once again, like, I think to myself, this is just like that time at the South Pole. And I'd like to just drop her, if possible. I did not roll a natural 20 this time, but I did get a 25 to hit.
Nice.
And I will be sneak attacking.
Sweet. Perfect. And where were you trying to hit her again? I'm
trying to like drop her in a way that she can't make a sound. So if that requires shooting her through the neck or through the head or whatever, just I want her down.
You've done these things before, these reconnaissance missions where you drop somebody and immediately try to heal them from dying. So yeah. How much damage did you do?
23. No, 21. Sorry.
You kind of see she turns just slightly, kind of moving towards the center of the room, angling herself towards Bert, and all of a sudden, Bert, you just see an arrow just stick through her chest, and she just kind of falls in front of you.
I'm going to pick her up and kind of just hold her out and be like, "Hey, Colby, can you impersonate this gnome right here?"
Yeah, I'm going to run forward. I'd like to look very quickly through all of her stuff to see if there's any sort of identification, like if she has a name tag or anything like that.
Yeah, she's got like this clothing on. She doesn't have a name tag per se, but kind of in her pocket, she has like some documentation that has like some levels of clearance, like if she were to have to like go in somewhere. And her name is Beretta.
Then I would like to take as much of like Bretta's stuff. I'll leave her clothes and everything. I'd like to take her tools and identify like her papers and everything. And I would like to put it into like hide it in my clothes. And I will use my Sverfneblin magic to cast Disguise Self.
You see slowly, like from the bottom up, like changing and hair growing and facial features twisting and contorting, and you look pretty similar to Bretta.
All right. I'll nod to the other two and say, maybe keep hidden or, watch from a distance. I'll try and talk us through this.
Okay. Hold on though. Here. Take little buddy.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I'll take little buddy and hide little buddy. Or before I hide him, I'll say, now little buddy, you're adorable and I love you, but I need you to only do anything if I or your father or Uncle Bert here tell you to. Okay? You got that, little buddy?
He holds up a little fist.
I give him a little finger bump with the fist.
Nice. Boop. Perfect. But you like change it into the knuckle.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I also gave you buddy because I realized I can only cast touch spells through little buddy. And one of the spells then that I can cast, and you as our rogue is the best person to cast it, is little buddy can give you guidance pretty much all the time now.
Oh
my gosh.
I'm just going to keep patting little buddy as he's like, just keeps giving me guidance.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I'd like to walk in and see what's going on here.
You're walking back through that door?
Yeah, I'm going back through the door and be like, don't think it was anything.
Yeah, you walk back through there, and you see a very busy, what appears to be kitchen in here. There are people that are little gnomes that are chopping up different foods and vegetables and fruits and stuff. And you see on the other side there is a little bit taller gnomish fellow who seems to be kind of barking orders out in terms of like who's doing what, chopping food, boiling whatever. Like he's kind of the one that seems to be in charge. But there's probably 6 or 7 other gnomes that are in this space as well.
I'd like to jog across the room and towards that gnome and say, I've seen enough kitchens. I've seen how kitchens work, so I'm just going to take a stab at this. I'm going to say, Chef!
Yes. What is it, Bretta? Weren't you supposed to be bringing food to the Frost King?
Yes, I was just about to, but Chef, there's something wrong with the fountain. It seems to be malfunctioning. Could you come take a look?
Malfunctioning?
It's spraying water everywhere, and I'm afraid it's going to damage the food.
Ah, crap. You see him kind of like take off his like apron and throw it down. Roll a persuasion check for me first.
Would this be persuasion or would this be deception in this case?
Yeah, deception. Yep.
Okay. Do I have guidance for this?
Of course you do.
Okay. So that puts me at a 17.
You can tell he is in the stress of the moment and doesn't want another thing to deal with and is very distracted by what's going on, and he believes you and comes with you. He's like, oh, crap, not again.
As he's running, I would like to point and give like a little, like point with my finger and give a little message to the other two, like, get ready, I'm bringing somebody, get ready to jump him. Once the door's closed, silent but deadly.
What did you do with Bretta's body? Did you guys just leave it where it was?
We had it. I don't know what they did.
I'll drag it out of the way. I feel like that's what I would have done.
Okay, all right.
Well, yeah, I was holding it.
Oh, okay.
Because I was showing it off, so I think
just...
maybe it's like underneath my arm, like a psychopath or something.
Nice. Okay.
As I'm running, I'd also like to just have my hand on the rapier so that as soon as it closes, I can also jump this dude. But I'll open the door, let him through first,
sure,
and then come in behind him, and hopefully we can just jump him.
Yeah, go for it. We'll assume that you guys are all readying actions of some kind. So what is it that you have readied for him to walk into?
I'm going to ready a thorn whip.
All right.
18.
Yeah, that'll hit. H4, what are you doing?
I'm going to be at the door. So I'm going to try and get the doors closed as quickly and quietly as possible, so in preparation for whatever else will happen.
Yeah, you see the chef run through. You see what looks like Bretta now run through, and you shut the door and just kind of like thorn whip him like around the neck. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to just like hold him? Are you trying to incapacitate him? What are you trying to do?
I think what I want to do is I want to like... Since I can attack him and drag him, I want to drag him away from the door so he doesn't like try to run away.
Sure. Yeah. So you latch it around his neck and pull. How far away from the door can you pull him? Like 10 feet
10
or something?
feet.
5, 10? Yeah. Okay. So he just runs through, and you see like the startled look on his face, and he just wrap the vines around him and pull, and he just gets drugged like right towards you.
Cool. And that's all I will do.
Okay. Yeah, he's not looking great. Like, he's bleeding where the thorns pulled him through. So he is going to pull out of his, like, belt this kind of cleaver. And assuming he's, like, right in front of you at this point, probably.
Yeah, I feel like I dragged him to me, so.
Okay, he's going to try and slash at you. So what's your AC?
My AC is 16.
He's going to hit for 3 points of slashing damage. Just kind of right across you. And he's going to try and turn and, like, run back towards the door. So he's going to get out of your range. So you can take an opportunity attack on him if you would like.
I will just do a quarterstaff. And that will be a dirty 20.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Yeah, so you just whack him across the back.
3 points of damage.
Okay, it is enough. You kind of crack him over the back of the head, and he just kind of falls face down in front of you on the ice.
I will pick up that body and
have two
also
of them
hold
under your arms.
I have 2 bodies, just like one under each arm at the moment, and I'll be like Colby could use this one right here. Maybe there's some important papers or something.
Yeah, like I'd like to start shuffling through this new person's, see if we get higher clearance out of it, and see if there's maybe a map, any indication of that might indicate where the naughty nice list might be, or even just where the vault and dungeon might be.
Sure. Yeah, as you kind of look through and sift through his stuff, you see some coin on him. You find like a folded up, what essentially looks like a map. It's not like necessarily a map, but it has like a second story to it where like rooms are, like who might be staying there, what sort. It's got like notes written on the side of like what foods they like, what kind of things they would want. And you see one of them has written on there Frost King's room, and it is kind of like there's another tier behind where you are that is like it looks like it's like a library of sorts, that kind of door at the end of the hallway, and then there's like stairs that go up, and kind of lining the outside of the grand library are all of these rooms where people seem to stay, whether they're higher up gnomes or whatever. And the Frost Kings is like right dead center on the other side of that room. That's all you really have from him. You also have some paperwork, some identifying paperwork. His name is Gorgon.
So can we look at the map to see like where Gorgon's map might lead us?
So it looks like where the fountain is in the middle, the doors that you were walking towards originally on the other side open into a sort of grand library on the other side.
Okay.
There's a second story kind of like down below that indicates that it's the second floor of the grand library, where there are rooms on the outside of it. And there's a set of staircases on the far side of the library to get up there. And dead center on the other side is the Frost King's room.
Oh, okay. Then I'll turn to the others and say, look, should I go ahead and impersonate Gorgon now and see if that clearance gets us where we need to go?
Yes, do it. And watch this.
I agree.
So I pull out a lock out of my I guess person. I don't know. I don't have a backpack. And then I lock the kitchen door from the outside, and then I go, Havarti. And then the lock itself starts to twist a little bit. And I've used my second magical infusion to create the lock of trickery. So now they're locked in, and anyone that would try and unlock it will always do it at disadvantage.
Nice.
Okay.
So that way hopefully we don't get followed right away.
Then I will use disguise self again to disguise myself now as Gorgon.
So you see Colby kind of like grows slightly and kind of shakes it off, and you look very similar to Gorgon.
I'll be like, all right, let's go.
Let's do it.
And I'll point at the pair of you and say, you two are entertainment for the Frost King, if anyone asks. You're with me.
Done.
Got it.
We'll just, I guess, set off into the library.
Okay. Yeah, so you kind of walk over to those doors, you open the set of double doors, and you see a magnificent interior to this space. You can kind of see lining the outsides there is the second story balcony. You can see these beautifully ornately carved doorways up above. These spindles on the railing are just immaculate, like you've never seen carved in ice before. And you see just rows upon rows upon rows of just these tall bookcases with ancient tomes that seem to be almost frosted over on the outside. And in the middle, you see kind of a center kiosk sort of area where there is a couple of what you would guess to be librarians in the middle of this space. But you don't really see anyone else in here other than kind of those you can kind of see down the middle walkway into the library.
Okay.
And all three of you are going together?
Yep.
All right. Sweet. So Gorgon, or Colby impersonating Gorgon, you're leading the way.
I would like to glance at the map and see if I can... So we don't necessarily see an entrance to a dungeon, but we do see where the Frost King's room is.
Yeah, you can see it it's perfectly on the other side. It's almost like where the kiosk is, that's the middle waypoint, about 25 feet in. And then there's another set of shelves that looks almost identical to the front of the room. And you see two sets of stairs that kind of like curve and go up to meet. And the Frost King's room is labeled as the one that's right at the top of the stairs there.
Okay, then as we're walking, I would like to message the other two and say, look, we don't have access to the dungeon. We don't know where it is. Do we want to just try the Frost King's room and see if, at the very least, we could find a map, if not the list itself?
Yes.
I think he thinks he's going to kill him still, but I still think it's a good idea.
I'm gonna murder him.
No. Wait. No. But yes, I think that's where we should go.
Okay, this way. And I'll lead us across to the Frost King's room. And I'd like to give a little knocky knock.
Okay. As you're walking past the kind of center kiosk, one of the gnomish ladies, she's kind of older, glasses down on her nose. She says, Gorgon, going to see the Frost King, are you? Who are these two that are following you?
I come over and I whisper, Frost King, we decided we'd surprise him with some entertainment.
What do you both do?
I was like, check this out. And I have the rope of climbing come out and it starts dancing around, and like moving all around me. And then, little buddy's with you still. So, I just kind of do that. But then I say, but I don't want to get in trouble for showing you my whole act, without showing it, to the person that hired me first. So.
Oh, that's so amazing. And she starts to like clap and what do you do?
Do you like music?
I love music.
What's your favorite song?
Jingle All the Way is my favorite song.
All right, I pull out a pair of bird pipes, which is a thing that I guess exists in this world.
For sure.
And I just start busting out that song.
Nice. And you can see that she's, thank you. That brings me back to my childhood. And then she starts to like try and tell you this long monologue about her parents and Christmases back in the day. And then she like starts to turn really dark. And you get the sense that like, she actually hates Christmas. And that's why she's here now.
As much as this is very important, I do need to let the Frost King know as a matter of urgency.
Sorry. Yes, I can. Yes, you're right. I can kind of get. Yeah, Gorgon. We could kind of. We don't see many people in the library. We can kind of. And she like starts to drone on again about.
As she's doing that, I'll just give you the other two and we'll just like leave.
All right. Yeah, you guys kind of make your way up the stairs, and you see. Yeah, again, just this ornately carved set of double doors for where the Frost King's room would be.
Should we give a little knocky knock?
I mean, do we need to be sneaky?
Well, we know that people from the kitchen go to his room. That was what they were going to do. So I'm wondering if I don't think I need to be sneaky.
Colby, I got something to point out. You don't got any food on you.
Yeah, I'm going to tell him about a problem in the kitchens.
Oh, okay, good idea.
Yeah, then just give it a couple knocks and open the door. That's probably what they would have done. It'll be fine.
And I pause for a moment and I say, go ask that librarian where the dungeon is, but do it like you think you're tour. You're being given like a little tour, just to talk to her and tell her that we wanted to delay the surprise a little bit.
Okay, I'm gonna go talk to her. Havarti, do you want to come with me? I'm not always good at talking.
It's okay. I've got this. So I take little buddy from Colby and I give it to Bert. And I'm like, okay, you'll be good now.
Oh, my tiny metal nephew. Hello. You're so dear and precious. I'll go down and talk to the librarian.
She kind of looks at you and says, aren't you here to entertain the Frost King?
So, we're just gotta, we're kind of a 2-act type of thing. So I'm always the second act. People like, I have my friend over here, he's kind of he warms up, the Frost King, kind of funny, right? Because he's Frost. But yeah, so I'm kind of the second act. So I'm just kind of like, just killed some time. And you kind of look like a person that's got stuff to talk about. What's your opinions about this cool place?
Oh, this is a very cool place, especially for those who hate Christmas. And she starts this long diatribe about how she hates Christmas. And while you're having that conversation, I want to cut back up to the Frost King's room. So you are planning on knocking on the door.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You hear from the other side, what is it? And you kind of push the door open, and you see in the room, it's it's very dark, but you see this sort of like flickering light blue light as you see these kind of sconces sticking off of the wall, giving this light blue sort of... Doesn't feel warm in here. It feels extremely cold, colder than anything you've ever felt before in this space. But you see kind of sitting out by there's like a balcony on the other side. You can see there's a desk, and you can see the Frost King is sitting there in kind of his light blue, ethereal, spectral nature. His cloak just kind of like flowing as he sits in his chair, very oddly, like you've never seen before. But you can see kind of coming around him this sort of goldish bright glow kind of lighting up his face in front of him.
Can I roll a quick perception check as I walk in to see if I can see not only what that glow is, but also what if there's an indication of where, if I just happen to see something that looks like a list. Have I ever seen the naughty and nice list?
Oh yeah, you've seen it before.
Then if I can glimpse it somewhere around the room, or if I can see what's in front of his face.
You are 100% certain that the thing that is giving off the glow that the Frost King is looking at is the naughty or nice list on his desk.
Then, okay, as I take a step forward, I would like to cover my mouth and say, excuse me. And while I do that, I send message to the other two and say, it's in his room. The naughty nice list is in his room. I'm going to try and get him to leave. Hide if you get the chance.
Cutting back down to Bert, you are hearing this long diatribe about how this librarian, when she was little, didn't get the gift that she wanted, and then something happened where her mother left and never came back, and like Christmas has just been ruined for her forever, and now she wants to like ruin Christmas for lots of other children by feeding the knowledge of all of the gnomes in here on the thousands of different ways that they can ruin Christmas for all the little children. And then you hear in your ear what Colby says.
I hear that, and I was like, while she's talking, I'm like, hey, I've been working on this song. It's called I've Been Dreaming of a Red Christmas. Is that a little too violent for all you guys? Are you more like mischief, or are you like more like murder?
She's like, oh God, honey, like, no, we don't kill children. We just ruin their Christmases.
Okay. So it's like, I'm dreaming of a bad Christmas. How about, that's an okay version?
Yeah. That's a better version. Yes.
Okay. I'm still working on it a little bit.
Keep the murder out of it.
No murder, just bad stuff.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Oh, I think my act is about to begin, so I'm gonna head up to the Frost King. Thanks for telling me not to talk about murder on Christmas. That's a good one. Thanks for the pro tip.
You're very welcome. So Colby tells you guys to hide. He's going to try and get the Frost King out of his room.
Yeah, can I just like find not look like I'm intentionally trying to hide, but maybe I'm like, I'm hiding, not like in a bookshelf, but I'm kind of like off to the side, maybe where if the Frost King were to walk out, I would be pretty indescript.
Yeah, there's bookshelves, and you could hide under the staircase or
sure.
somewhere like that. So H4, what are you doing?
I just cast invisibility, and then I...
Nice. Okay, so cut back up to the Frost King's room.
I step in and say, Your Majesty, thank you so much for having me, for allowing me entrance. I bring you grave tidings of terrible, terrible sorrow.
Well, this is starting out like something I want to hear.
Unfortunately, it's sorrow for us, Your Majesty.
Tell me more.
Your Majesty, one of my cooks, Bretta. I think you may have glimpsed her. She brings you food from time to time.
Yes, Bretta, yes.
Yes, she had come to bring you food, and on the way here, she was killed.
And you see him like like if he was going to push a chair back, but he just kind of like slips through the chair and kind of like turns and looks at you.
Your Majesty, she was killed in the library. And there's evidence that she may have been stabbed with a candy cane.
Only one man would dare candy cane someone here. Kringle.
Your Majesty, I think that Kringleites have infiltrated the librarians.
You roll a deception check for me.
With advantage, that's
With
tight.
with advantage, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, here we go. That is a 21.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He got a 14 for countering that. You do see him, though, on his way to rush out. He almost rushes out of the room, and then he turns around, and he kind of like rolls up the naughty and nice list and kind of...
As he's doing that, I say, Your Majesty, perhaps if there's anything that you don't want falling into the hands of the Kringleites, you can simply leave it here. I will stand guard it with my life, while you take care of those nasty, nasty, dirty librarians.
So he says, all right, I will do that. And yet he still rolls it up, and he takes it over to his wardrobe and puts it in there and then shuts it and locks it.
Okay. That's better than nothing.
And then you see him just kind of like just glide past you. The two of you that are down below, you see the Frost King just doesn't even open his door, just kind of goes through the wall, but glides down the stairs and then starts to just like look around and doesn't see. Did you have Bretta's body on you the entire time? What did you do with her body before you left the main entryway?
I mean, I probably just tucked it in a corner. I mean, I'm not going into a library with Bretta's body and I guess the other guy's, Gorgon's body, underneath my arms. I think I probably just, I don't know, tried to hide it in a corner. Maybe back over by the locked kitchen door.
Well, yeah, I figured it was by the fountain.
All right, so you see the Frost King come down, and he starts to, like, lean into... He, like, picks up the librarian that you were having this, I mean, dark and gloomy conversation, but nice conversation. You see him, like, pick her up by the neck and start screaming at her and looking at her with, like, murder in his eyes. What are you two doing in the library? He's like laying, and you can see, like, just these icy blue tendrils starting to go across her skin and, like, up her eyes. You're witnessing that. You're literally right there. Like, what are you guys doing in this moment?
I was going to go in the room. I thought we were going to get the list and leave.
Yeah, you're invisible. So, yeah, you're invisible. You can do whatever you want.
I'm walking in the room. We got to get the list. We got to go.
I'm kind of just, like, maybe standing in a corner, like, trying to, like, maybe, like, looking at a book, just be like, you know, trying to be, like, hide. Yeah, I'm trying to hide.
Trying to figure out if this is normal activity for the Ice King or not.
Yeah, this is, like, I have all these images of, like, in my mind, I was, like, there is this, like, scenario that I was playing where I was, like, I'm a polar bear, and I go into his room, and I just start, like, wailing away on him. But that's when I thought he was just, like, a guy, and now that I see that he is, like, literally this sort of elemental incarnation of cold and evil, I'm, like, trying to reevaluate, like, how could I bite a cloud? I can't bite a cloud. So I'm just trying to look, like, not action hide, but just try to not draw attention to myself.
Okay, yeah, so H4, you're making your way up the stairs. You see that the doors are closed again, but do you want to open them? What do you...
Well, yeah, because I thought I was a little closer to the doors, but yeah, I would...
you were upstairs. Yeah, you were upstairs already, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so I would just try and open it as the minimum amount possible, and then sneak into the room.
Roll a sleight of hand check for me to kind of open it quietly and slowly.
Can I give advantage by helping on the other side of the door when I see it start to open?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, thank you for advantage. Natural 20.
Hey.
I had a 17.
Yeah,
I had a 17, and then I was like, oh, okay. And then, because it's on D&D Beyond, my dice exploded. So I got 23
As it
overall.
does. Okay, yeah, so you open it, and it just slides gracefully across the ice, and you kind of make your way in. I'm assuming, Bert, you just tell me if you want to do anything. Otherwise, you're just going to kind of hang out in the corner there for the time being.
And so my thing is I will try to react if he is going back to his room.
Okay, so you guys are in the room. All of this is happening. Like, he's just now getting down there for you guys as you make your way into the room. But, Bert, this is what you've seen so far, him holding that old woman up. So you guys are in there. You know, you can describe for me what you guys want to try and do to get the naughty or nice list out of the wardrobe. You can kind of see the light like gleaming through the inside of the ice chest is just kind of like lighter goldish blue inside of there. You can see it just emanating. But tell me what you guys want to do.
Okay, so what I'll say is, hold on. Which is, you hear that, of course you don't see it, and then I rematerialize, and I was like, wait a second. So I kind of twist like the outer edges of my eyepieces, and then they turn like this red and green color. One is red, one is green, and then I
everything becomes 3D for you in the room. No,
yeah, so I cast Detect Magic to see if there's like any magical elements to the wardrobe being locked, rather than, and obviously I'm probably gonna be blinded by this list, but yeah, the idea of like, is the lock or anything else about it magical?
It does seem like there is a magical enchantment on this wardrobe.
Well, I let you know, Colby. There's magic obviously inside, but it's a magical wardrobe. Leads there's a Mr. Tumnus on the other side, but no, which I feel like would totally exist in this world. But yeah, there's magical. So I don't know if it's the lock or if it's a trap. But be careful.
Can you tell what kind of magic it is?
Give me a sec. And I keep staring at it.
It is abjuration.
That's something protective, and nobody has dispel. I don't have anything that can get past. Depends on the spell, but I don't know what could necessarily get past it. Do you have anything?
I mean, not quiet.
I could try and pick the lock, but that's we don't know what that's going to do.
You do see, I'll say this again, you do see like a balcony on the other side of the room as well. Just in case you guys need to think through escape plans or anything like that.
So does it open out in like open air? Okay.
Yep.
Can you shrink the wardrobe at all?
No, but I could blow it open.
That would be way too loud.
But then we leave. Then we leave and get on the war sleigh.
If all three of us were standing directly next to the balcony, maybe, but there's still wyverns. That's the problem. We gotta get to the war sleigh. Ideally, we can get to the war sleigh before the wyverns see us. I feel like that's where I'm wondering. I would like to see. Is there a lock on this?
Yep, there is.
Okay. I would like. Can I look through the lock at all?
Yeah, I mean, what are you looking for?
Well, I'd just like to see if I can see a little bit through the lock at all. Like if I cast prestidigitation to make little faint sparks on the other side, can I see those through the lock?
Yeah, you can see those sparks, but you also you're looking at it and you're blinded by the light from the wardrobe or from the naughty or nice list inside of it.
Oh, then if I can see the light, then I would like to summon Mage Hand, see if I can summon Mage Hand inside of it.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
So my invisible Mage Hand will appear. I would like to use it to pick up the naughty and nice list. And I say, look, I have it in my Mage Hand. It's just a matter of getting it out of there. I can't teleport the Mage Hand. I'll say, Havarti, do you have any ideas? Anything at all?
Can Little Buddy fit?
How big is Little Buddy?
Little Buddy is a tiny construct.
Tiny is in how tiny? Because it's like a keyhole.
Okay, no, probably not then. You know what? It's a one shot. I'm going to ask a question. Would you consider the Mage Hand to qualify enough as a creature that I took this spell that I almost used earlier? It's called Vortex Warp, where you magically twist space around another creature you can see within range, and then I can shift it where it is by 10 feet.
It is not.
I can get in there if that's what you want.
Oh, you can go in there?
I was going to say, but you do have either a druid that might be able to wild shift or wild shape, or Colby.
I will throw more of this Christmassy spice and cast Misty Step inside. And I now have the naughty and nice list.
Yeah, it's cramped in there. It's not a massive wardrobe. It's got drawers on the bottom and then the two doors on the top. But
we got to get Bert up here too, though. But yeah, I can get you out now. Watch. Don't let it. Shh, just let it happen. And so I cast Vortex Warp. And I assume as long as you're willing to fail.
I'll fail that save.
Yeah, then you'll shift.
You thought that Disguise Self was an uncomfortable spell. Vortex Warp is like 10 times worse. It's just like being compressed into yourself and then reappearing. And like Harry Potter, when he first shifts, you just vomit everywhere in his face.
I'll just point my finger in the direction of Bert. Be like, Bert, get in here. We have to go. We have to go now. Bert, we have the list. Get in here. We have to go.
Okay. Can I make like a stealth check to see if I can slide into the Frost King's room?
Yes, the door is still cracked open a little bit.
And you have
well, did you guys close it? I would assume you probably closed it when you came in.
Yeah.
Okay, so you would have to try and open it again. So roll a sleight of hand check for me.
But like I said, guidance, because little buddy's with you. He's all, hey, this is what he did last time.
I'll do sleight of hand. Let's see. Am I any good at that?
You do get a D4.
I have 15 plus 3, and then a D4 will be 2 more. So
20.
30, 20?
Yes, that works. So you kind of pull the door open, slide in, pull it back shut. You see Bert like pool of vomit on the ground, but Naughty and Nice list in hand. What's your plan from here to try and escape?
Where does this like balcony look out to?
It is the backside of the Frostbite Citadel.
Let me just make sure that I'm correct about this. So we were allowed to have one uncommon magic item.
Yeah, common or uncommon. Yep.
Okay, I took a common one.
Sweet.
I took the feather token, which allows me to cast Featherfall.
Nice.
I will turn to my fellows and say, look, this is our ticket out of here. Let's go.
So, I guess if we're going to jump out the window, I'm like, you know what? I want to maybe leave a little bit of Christmas cheer for the good old Frost King. And I am going to use the spell. Which spell is this? I'm going to use the spell Conjure Animals.
Animals.
Yeah, so I'm going to...
Not conjure animals. Just multiples.
Animals. And what I'm going to do is I can summon 8 beasts of challenge rating 1/4 or lower. And an elk is considered a beast of 1/4. So I'm going to summon 8 elk, or maybe 8 incarnations of Santa's reindeer to leave as a present for the Frost King.
Nice.
So I
nice.
summon these 8 reindeer, and I'm like, you have always been the helpers of Santa. If the Frost King comes in here, try to stab him or hoof him or something like that.
Hoof him. All right, and they kind of all give you a nod like, yes, we understand. We understand. Okay, so you guys are kind of out on the balcony, feather token in hand. Tell me what you're doing.
I'll look at the others and say, ho, ho, ho. I'm just going to jump off the edge.
It's about 30 feet up, so.
Does this token apply to all of us?
Yeah, Featherfall, you can cast it on a group.
Okay, I wasn't
He
sure.
just does it to himself. That's it.
No, Featherfall, the spell, it says when you fall at least 20 feet while the token is on your person, you descend 60 feet per round and take no damage from falling. Oh, wait, maybe it is just, you know what? Then I would like to, I'll say, rope. I'll point at Havarti and say, rope.
No, I think it's funnier. I'm just like, Featherfall, and I jump. I just jump off.
I'm so sorry, guy.
I just jump off of the balcony, and I'm like, waiting for myself to slow.
Yeah, you're not slowing down at all.
But it is not. How high is it up?
It's like 30 feet, so.
Okay, yeah, I jump 30 feet, and I guess I hit the ground.
You take 11 points of bludgeoning damage from the snow.
Oh my god. Colby, I don't think the token worked.
I'm like floating down. I'm like, I don't know what went wrong. It's like, maybe you're too heavy?
That makes a lot of sense. I'm pretty big. I'm not
It's your
feathery
big
like
heart.
a bird.
It's your
It's
big
my
heart.
big heart. It's my big heart. It was too big.
Then, like the rope is just like gently letting me down because
My
it's a rope
god,
of
why don't you
climbing.
remind
It
me
could have
about
easily-
that rope?
You jumped. I don't know what else to tell you. So then I give 2 tugs on the rope. I look to you. I was like, "Wait, where's little buddy?" And you don't have him. And then you just see little buddy jump off of the balcony, and there's a present left behind, and a huge shatter explosion blows up because I cast my last spell And it does 16 points of damage to the balcony as it blows up, and you see little buddy come flying down.
In that moment, H4, you remember, because you've never really done this before, but the sleigh has a homing beacon that can tie to your arm as well.
Perfect. Yeah, so then I'll put as soon as I see him jump, I hit the button for the sleigh to come pick us up.
Yeah. It just kind of like flies down towards you guys, kind of hovering off of the ground. You guys jump in, explosion. You hear entering into, as you're flying away, you see all of the reindeer, some of them just like exploding out of existence, but all of them are starting to like huff and gore and try and kill, slow the Frost King down enough. And you see kind of off in the distance as you are leaving, you see some of the wyverns trying to keep up with you, but they don't. And you see the Frost King just kind of come out and say, and like shake his fist at you from his now exploded balcony. And you make your way back across the Arctics of Austera to the floating North Pole with Kringle, having successfully saved Christmas for all of the children that are on the naughty and the nice list. Had you not, who knows what implications that would have had, but you have successfully thwarted the plans of the Frost King of stealing the naughty and nice list. So, well done. Yule Team 6.
Yeah!
Well done.
Someone's got to have a good sign-off catchphrase, right? Something very...
Okay, hands in.
Heads in.
Hands in.
Santify on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Santify!